Welcome back, and in this part we are going to learn about this blueprint code. So this is a regular base using blueprint code. Why I'm calling that regular base, because whenever we try to create any type of logic, this some of blueprint code we always need to write. That's why I'm first going with this blueprints. So the first is the event begin play, the second is event tick, the third is event PreConstruct, and the fourth is the event construct, and the five is the print string. So the begin play and event tick, event PreConstruct, and event construct, it's pretty much similar blueprint, and the print string is kind of like some difference. There are all some difference and different type of use and in different types of purpose, but their logic is pretty same. Okay, so let's get started. Let's get into Unreal, because we already get some overview what we are basically in this part we are going to learn. So let's start with the begin play. So now there's lots of question come whenever we are going to write about the code, like should we code inside of any blueprint class or in a begin open level class. It's all depends on you, it depends on your situation, it depends on your logic, how you are basically going to build up. Okay, so for now, because it's a tutorial purpose, I'm showing in a begin in the open level class. Then in further, if you need it, I will show you inside of the class. Okay, so what is the event begin play? The event begin play is kind of like execution of a function. Okay, so because if you pretty have some knowledge with the basic level C++, so you have probably that you write a code called int a function or int main function. Then instead of that we write our codes, so that int function we need to call that, right? So that is a pretty same for the game development, and in Unreal it's called event begin play. So from where the game engine basically he have an idea, okay, from this lines of code I need to start my code. Okay, suppose you write some code at here, some writes of code here. So now how the machine understand that from where he need to the execution the code, like from this part or this part. So the event begin play is basically at that point it's help to identify that, okay, from this point we need to basically execute this system or logic or any type of function what you have basically created. Okay, and if you see that it's basically have a output called execution, so it's mean that from there you can connect with some others blueprint or in the function. Okay, the most amazing feature of Unreal Engine, it's have the lots of color that it's very easy to help and easy to remember in our mind that, okay, this is the color, this is the name, and how in this way you can use. So for learning the blueprints you just have to keep three things, that what is basically the blueprint name, blueprint color, and how can I going to use that. Okay, and or you can also add a additional that what is basically I can get output from this the code basically. Okay, so that is pretty same. So you can see there's a red dot at here. It's not a dot, it's kind of like a checkbox, but it's not a checkbox. This is called digit, or it's kind of like it's some more advanced types thing that whenever you create a custom event or a timer, you can call this function, because this red color of like this event is basically a custom event, or it's kind of like an event or execution point where you can call them or you can use them basically. Okay, so with that red, I'll show you in a later that how you can connect that, but for now let's only keep mind that begin play is basically our int function main, that where we can basically execute it. Okay, and I will show you a example, but let me give you let me show you also one more code that it's going to help you to understand the begin play as well, which is called print string. So as far you know, or you maybe watch lots of code tutorial that where the programmer show you that how you can write a simple code called hello world. Okay, like a hello world print message. So that is pretty same in Unreal Engine, it's called print string. In C# or C++ we call it a print function, printf. That is pretty similar at here, that it's called print string. So at the print string, because why it's in string, that in a string you can write characters, you can write letters, you can write symbols, character, special symbol, number, so everything you can do pretty much. Okay, so that's why it's called print string. So where you can basically print a message in your screen basically. So it's kind of like a function. You can see there's a f logo is showing and it's a kind of like a light blue color, okay, but it's more like the water color, I say, probably with a fade blend of black. So there's, you can see there's a three type of pins available. One is the execution pin. So in Unreal Engine, if you go even to run or get output from there, it's always called execution, because you can plug here or even here. Now how I am plugging this thing is, you need to just hold your left mouse and you can connect with something like that. Okay, so when I connect like this, I just make a track simple. You can say this is your train is now at here, your train will become this station, then from this, by following this line, it's going to stay at this, or it's going to be run this station. Okay, so that is the pretty similar. And there in the string, you will see that this is a pink color. Okay, there's a lots of variable available in Unreal Engine. So every variable have their different color. I will show you that in a later parts, that when you come in the variables part. So for now, in a string, let's write that hello, or let's write our name called Tec Dev Studio. Okay, now it's great. Okay, so this is our name. So now what you'll be going to do, but make sure whenever you write any code or logic, what you need to do, you need to just go to here at the compile, and here in the save, make sure you press that, so it's going to compile and save the code. So if there's any error, it will be show you at here. If there's no any of error, it not show you any error. Okay, that's pretty simple. So now at edit, I'm going to click on play. So as you can see, it's pasted at Tec Dev Studio. Now you have a like in your mind that why it's always showing in the left, why it's always showing in that size, or why it's always have the blue color, and why it's always at that front size. So it's basically because in the function they already write about it, that what is the basically going to be size, what is it going to be color, and how much time it going to be stay in the screen. Okay, so luckily Unreal Engine gives some more feature. If you see here that a arrow, this is called split arrow. So if you click here, you find some more abilities and control and customization or flexibility to control this function more. So you can see it's say that print on screen, print on log. So in Unreal Engine, there's a two type of log output you can see. One is from screen, what I already show you, the visual one, and the second one is by log. So the log is basically come here in the downside of output log. So here you can basically find basically the log. So let's see where's the Tec Dev Studio. At here you can see it's right that on the blue message on our this level, it's basically displayed the Tec Dev Studio. So you can basically give him permission that okay, either you want to see that in your screen, or either you want to see that in your log. Okay, so that is basically the difference. And the text color, as I said, that what is going to be text color, so it's also a cool thing. And really there's a, by default they give you color picker, so you can choose any of color. Like I personally like a blue, like the deep blue, so I'm choosing deep blue, something like that. You can put the duration is basically how much time it's going to stay at that screen. Okay, like the visibility time rate. So either you can increase it by let me give you 5, but make sure in Unreal Engine it's basically 5 seconds. It's not kind of like minute. If you're supposing it's a minute and this seconds, no, this is basically a seconds and this is delta seconds basically. So it's not whole delta second, but this after the point it's basically calculate kind of like a delta second. So basically this is a 5 seconds delay. So now let me compile it and save, and let me click on play, and now you can see the color has been changed, and now it's staying more time than the previous one. Okay, so in this way you can slightly get some difference between your output log, and this is very helpful plugin. Sorry, I'm saying helpful plugin. It's very helpful function or a blueprint logic. It's really help you on your development when you're building lots of logics, and there you need to check that okay, whether it's working or not, it's execution or not. So at that point it's really help you. Okay, now you already learned, and as you can see there's a message showing kind of like a warning that development only. What does it mean? So it's mean that this function, whatever you write, it's only going to be work for the editor only. In Unreal Engine there's 3 type of shipping available. One is we call the development, third is debugging, and the first is the development, second is debugging, and the third is shipping. So something like that, development, debugging, and shipping. So the development and debug, it's basically help you to debug for the developers, and the shipping is basically the for our clients or for the users where they're going to play the actual game. So the the user they don't need the printing, right? We need. Okay, so that's why Unreal Engine always said this security stuff, that it's also helpful for some of cases. The developer, you write a code, for example, you write here your code, and after that, suppose you forget to remove that, or you don't know why you even write this code, and there's a tons of code, and there it's going to help you, like for the user it's not going to show you, but for the editor developers it's going to be show you that the string. Okay, that's why. Okay, that is pretty cool, right? Yeah, so I guess you already basically get some knowledge about how the begin play work and finish string. Did you see a difference? Basically, if you see that whenever I'm just clicking the play, it's only pasting one time, or it's showing or coming one time. Why it's not coming continuously or endless, or why it's coming whenever I just clicking or play, not either before that. So basically, as I said, that this is a basically function, and whenever game are starting, the engine understand that okay, I need to run this code, and after that it's running, and make sure the event begin play is only one time executable. It's mean that after that executing it one time, it's never again execute this your function. So it's not a loop type, it's just a one time the running function, kind of like that. So suppose you want that endless loop execution. What does it mean? Like whenever you just click on play, from now until you close your game or you do any mess with your computer, it's going to be run that function, or whether whatever you write. So it's always give you output, something like that. So it's for getting that, it's called that event tick. There's also loop available, but I'm going to show you with a little tick. So the tick event is work like that, but make sure the tick event is very expensive, and it's also work like a delta seconds. Okay, like the delta second, not even in a seconds, it's work in the delta seconds, like something like that. It's not work like in a 1 seconds, it's going to work on 0.1 seconds. So that is pretty super fast. So also it's going to consume lots of memory. So why I'm calling it the expensive, because in developer sites, like whenever software use lots of RAM or the processing power, we call that okay, this is a costly software, or it's it's a heavy for the PC at that point. Okay, I'm not talking about the your PC price of 10,000 USD or 40,000 USD. Okay, so that is basically the expensive, that it's very it's highly use the RAM and the processor as well. So I suggest to do not use the event tick, either because there's the alternative available. You can use even a set timer, and you can get the pretty much same output, but in more less RAM use, and it's more cost efficient. That's why. Okay, so we pretty much get some knowledge about the begin play and event tick, that how it's going to work. Now let's see some visually that even how it's work. So for now, let me just get unconnect from the begin play. And now you have a question, bro, how you unconnect it without breaking or going? So I just using some shortcut, it's called Alt. So you can press either Alt, and then you can press left mouse, and it's going to be break it. So either you can break something like that, or you can even press right mouse, and here you find the break links, so you can even break links. Okay, so also there's a one more option. Suppose if you are connecting something like that, you can click CTRL, and you can basically select all of that pin, and you can basically drag and drop to any other function or blueprints. Okay, fine. So event tick, we already found that. So begin play and save. Now let me show you how it's work. So now you can see it's now running infinitely, like yeah. So you can see that how much log it's now giving you, like tons of log. It's basically continuously pasting. Okay, something like that. So that's how the event tick basically they work. Now from the event tick, you find a delta seconds is basically a float. Now how you understand this is a float? Because it's a green color, but it's a more light green. So I'm not sure in what's called in your country, like in my country in Bangladesh, it's called the TIA. Okay, like TIA color. Okay, so something like that. So we basically don't even say that the color, we say that in wrong. Okay, it's kind of spelled like a wrong, but it's not wrong. Okay, something like that. Okay, so in a delta seconds you can see that this is basically a light green, and whenever you just hold some thing or near of that blueprint or the pin, Unreal Engine by default show you some message or some knowledge between that. Okay, what is basically actually this, you know, the delta seconds and the float single percentage. And you must be note in a Unreal Engine there's a the double even available, like the floats, you know, the memory range like 2 bytes 4 bits, kind of like that. Okay, so in delta seconds basically you can get a float output. So in main funniest thing in Unreal Engine that you can either connect it something like that. You don't need to say any convert on anything. It automatically, whenever you just drag and drop, Unreal Engine automatically make a converter for you to make it float to a string. That is the main feature of this string variable, that you can use anything, like pretty much anything like boolean or anything that for connect. So now let me simply connect something like that and compile and save, and now click on play, and you can see that how the floats is basically okay. It's basically giving you 0.00833 milliseconds output. So every 0.0083 milliseconds I'm getting a execution from this. So you can understand that how much expensive thing it is and how much accurate value it's going to give you. Okay, that is the main thing. Okay, so we already pretty much get knowledge of begin, play and even tick, and now let me show you some more additional also we already get knowledge of print string. Let me give you 2 more additional the similar kind of like the events basically. So at here you can see that I'm in a UI. Okay, it's not like open level by class or any of character class. So this is slightly difference between in Unreal Engine and that they give you some additional blueprint for some additional class. Like I'm in now with the widget blueprint. So the widget blueprint is called the UI basically. So the user interface basically you can see the probably that where basically the developer set the buttons and the image icon, the shooting buttons for the games. So this is the place where we write everything. So in that inside of that there's a graph available where we basically write behind of the code, like in behind of the UI basically, like whenever you press the button what it should be do. So we write that code at here. Okay, so for here there's some 2 additional blueprint available, and 2 blueprints has been removed. Only 1 blueprint has been removed, which is called begin play. You may see that in a open level class or even in a any of BP class you will find the begin play, but for the UI you doesn't find any begin play. For that there's a replaced by with even construct. Okay, so they also give you a additional the blueprint called even PreConstruct. So difference basically between these 2 things is basically the PreConstruct use the real time, like in an edited time. So it's mean that even when I'm just using it or I'm writing any code, it's always executing, it's keep executing every time on my UI. Okay, and for the even construct it's not going to execute now, but it's pretty behave like begin play, where basically whenever I'm going to run this thing and my UI going to be spawn or my UI basically show, at that point it's basically give you me the execution. Okay, the event is pretty much similar at here, but there it give you some more additional the geometry structure about the space, you know, some more. You can basically break it or you can promote it to get more knowledge about that. But for now it's not mandatory, like my geometry it's kind of like structure, but it's a weird stuff, that's why. So for even PreConstruct and it's have a boolean. Now you say that bro, how you understand this is the boolean? Okay, so there's a is design time, and you can see there's a red line or red color, that is for Unreal Engine it's a boolean color. Okay, so whenever you see a red color you can probably guess like it's a variable called boolean. So I give you the structure in later, like about the float, boolean. There's a lots of variable available in Unreal Engine. There's tons of, really there's a lots of. So at here you also get the pretty much a called print string, the output that the plane is pretty much available in everywhere, so you can basically get debugs from there. It's help you to debug. So now you will say that, bro, now why I'm not seeing this thing? Because why you are not seeing? Because it's haven't executed yet, or I haven't enabled the UI. That's why. For the construct, that as I said, that it's pretty similar like begin play, that whenever you're going to run this thing, and the UI, it's basically going to run this stuff, and the event tick is pretty much same. Okay, so I just hope you understand. And you said that, bro, why you're not demonstrating how I'm going to work like as you show at here? So why I'm not showing? Because for running this thing, we additionally need some more kind of like plugin, some more additional code, because it's not going to be run from here. Okay, because it's need some more add to widget blueprints, and it's need more additional 2 codes, why I'm going to show you in a later videos on our widget parts. So for now, you can keep in mind that it's begin play, pre-begin play, and it's a begin play, and this is basically event tick. Okay, so you have still question, you can comment us in our comment box. Also, because this course available in our Udemy, please check out there. So thank you so much for watching, guys. See you in next video.